As week 7 on Tirzepatide comes to a close, the side effects are still very real, and so are the results, even when the scale refuses to move. This is one of those weeks that is with your head, a week where you step on the scale expecting progress and see nothing. No reward, just a number staring back at you. But here's what the scale doesn't tell you and what nobody really talks about. This medication doesn't just change a number. It changes your body in ways you can't always measure. Welcome back to Life on Tirzepatide. This is my personal journey on a once-weekly injection that has slowly but undeniably begun reshaping my body. Week 7. The scale didn't move, but my body did. Shirts that were once a tight 3XL are now a loose 2XL. Pants that used to fight back are literally falling off. And the belt I wore at my heaviest, I've run out of holes. I can't tighten it anymore. So no, the scale didn't change, but my body composition is speaking louder and clearer. Today, I want to talk about that invisible number, the progress you feel, see, and live, even when the scale says nothing happened. If you're new here, consider subscribing and walking this journey with me from my highest recorded weight towards a transformation I never thought I'd see. And if this helps you make sense of your own experience, hitting that like button really does help reach others who are searching for real, honest information about Tirzepatide. When the scale lies, because that's exactly what it felt like this week, the number went up instead of down, and immediately the question hits, what am I doing wrong? But before we blame ourselves, we need to understand something important. The scale is not telling the whole story, especially at week 7 on Tirzepatide. To understand why, we have to start with what the scale is actually measuring. The scale isn't measuring fat. It's measuring everything: water, muscle, inflammation, digestion, and yes, fat. When the number moves, it doesn't tell us what changed. It just totals it all together. And that's why weight can increase even when fat is leaving the body. So if the scale can't tell the difference, how do we know real progress is happening? Your clothes tell the truth. When a shirt feels looser and pants start falling off, something is changing. Fat takes up space. And when fat shrinks, your body shrinks. Regardless of what the scale says, clothing fit is often the first sign of real fat loss. But if fat is leaving, why would weight go up at all? Tirzepatide changes the rules. This medication doesn't just suppress appetite, it rewires how the body handles fuel. It improves insulin sensitivity. It redirects glucose and it changes storage patterns. That metabolic shift doesn't always show up cleanly on the scale at first. And after week 7 is when the shift becomes noticeable. Week 7 is a transition week. The early weeks bring fast results, mostly from water loss and inflammation reduction, but around week 7, the body adapts. It realizes change is happening and begins recalibrating. And folks, that recalibration often looks like a stall or even a small gain. So what's actually causing the scale to move up? Water is the main suspect. Water weight can fluctuate dramatically based on sodium, stress, hormones, and inflammation. And you can lose fat and gain water at the same time, and the scale will only show the water. But why would fat loss cause water retention? Fat loss is inflammation. It's inflammatory. When fat cells shrink, they release stored hormones and compounds. The immune system responds with inflammation, and inflammation pulls in that water. That temporary water retention can completely hide fat loss on the scale. And inflammation isn't the only thing masking progress. Muscle preservation changes the math. Tirzepatide helps protect lean muscle mass. Muscle is denser than fat, so losing fat while preserving muscle can result in little to no scale movement, even as the body size decreases. But digestion also plays a role here. Slower digestion adds temporary weight. Tirzepatide slows gastric emptying, meaning food stays in the digestive tract longer. That food still has weight, and that scale reflects it. This isn't fat gain, it's mechanical weight that resolves over time. Add hormones into the equation, and things get a little bit even noisier. Hormones control the short term. Your cortisol, insulin, and other hormones shift daily, affecting water retention and digestion. Daily weigh-ins capture these fluctuations, not the real fat loss. That's why trends matter more than a single number, and real trends rarely move straight down. Weight loss is a staircase. True fat loss looks like drops, pauses, and sudden releases. The body resists change, adapts, then it lets go. And that's how sustainable loss works, even if it's frustrating in the moment. So if the scale can't be trusted, what should we trust? Non-scale wins comes first. Reduced hunger, smaller waistlines, looser clothes, better energy. These changes show up before the scale moves, guys. And they're often the most reliable indicators of real progress. But this is where many people accidentally slow themselves down. The panic response. After a gain week, people slash calories, overdo cardio, skip protein, or panic adjust doses. That stress raises cortisol, and cortisol stalls fat loss. So what does this week actually mean? This week means adaptation. It doesn't mean fat loss stopped. It means the body is just adjusting. And adjustment always comes right before the next drop. That's why some weeks you can lose and others you can gain. But usually followed by a gain is a drastic loss, which brings us to the most important truth I want you to take away from today. The scale didn't betray you. Week 7 wasn't failure. It was just our body recalibrating itself. Fat is shrinking, water is shifting, and the body is learning a new normal. If clothes fit better and hunger is controlled, progress is happening, even if the scale hasn't caught up yet. Let's take a look at some of these results that you see on the screen here. On the next slide, I'm going to show you a picture of me at my heaviest. 267 pounds. You can see the full gut. You can see my face is bloated. You can see so much. But then we get to week 7 and look at the results. The face is slimmer. The belly is shrinking. The body is starting to change. And just because you had a bad week, just because the scale didn't move down like it has always moved down, even if you've had some of those weeks where the scale is moving down consistently, it's not over. Stick with it. Slow and steady wins the race. Let me say it again. Slow and steady wins the race every single time. Give yourself grace. And if you got value out of today's video, hit that like button. Consider subscribing. And of course, if you got questions down below in the comments, I always respond. I appreciate this community sharing some real concerns for my health. I actually had somebody reach out and said, "Why are your eyes red? And they look yellow. Have you gotten your eyes checked?" This is what this community is all about. Coming together, watching me change my life, and me always engaging with you. And yes, I struggle with sleep. I am a night owl. I function best when there's no notifications going off in my inbox, when the world is down to sleep, my household is asleep. I don't have the distractions of work hitting me hour by hour like they do during the day. It's the nighttime that I struggle. So recently I was diagnosed with CPAP, and I started CPAP therapy a few months ago, and I've started to notice drastic results. But sometimes those results themselves take time, just like losing weight and getting yourself back into a cycle of normal. So I appreciate the outlook. I appreciate those who respond, those who communicate with me. I will always respond back, and that's the purpose of the comment section, is to create real engagement and community. You can always check the description for additional show notes, and of course, check out all our other videos. The focus here is long-form videos followed by shorts here and there, okay? I want to teach you, just like I do on all my other channels. I want to teach you, I want to educate you what I've been learning, and I hope that you've gotten value out of today's video and all the other videos on my channel. All right, guys, I will see you on the next set of videos.